basically everything below it's going to stop working. All right, guys, so in the last few videos, we've talked about a lot of things, okay? It's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff to kind of digest and to take in, especially if it's all new, okay? So the first thing I want to say is not everybody's going to be, you know, a perfect shooter, especially when you're beginning. It's going to take some time. You got to practice. You got to put in the work, just like with anything else, right? Kobe Bryant and all those professional athletes, like Brett Favre didn't learn how to throw a football and the next day become an NFL star. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. So we talked about the 7 fundamentals, right? You have to learn those 7 fundamentals. You have to know them. You have to know not only what they are, but how they apply and why you need to know them, okay? Understanding the why is probably one of the most important parts, because if you don't know why you're doing something you're doing, then you're not really truly doing it to its full potential, right? So understanding why you're doing these things, why your stance should be the way it is, why your grip should be the way it is, why your trigger press should be the way it is. All these things start to compound on top of each other, that if you do one thing wrong, it starts to fall apart, right? So you really need to focus on doing them slowly, doing them correctly, right? Going out there and being really fast at everything, but being fucked up at everything, in the end is only going to be getting you fast and fucked up, right? Which we don't want to be. We want to be accurate. We want to be efficient. We want to go out and be the best shooter out of our friends and make them become better, right? Because after all, this community is a good community. There's so many good people in this community that want everybody to grow, which is why I'm an instructor, because I want every student to come back to me and be like, hey, I took a bunch of your classes, let's go head to head, because I want to race you, I want to do this or that, and I want them to beat me. I want them to become better than me. So again, we talked about the 7 fundamentals. Really harp on those, okay? They're very important. They are, again, the building block that you need to grow as a shooter, okay? We talked about safety. Obviously, safety is very important because nobody wants to get hurt, especially when you're out on the range just having fun with your friends. The last thing you want to do is have some sort of medical thing going on, okay? We talked about gear. While gear isn't super important, it can be a hindrance if you have bad gear or bad equipment, okay? So having good quality stuff alleviates the issues regarding gear, right? So you can start focusing on becoming a better shooter and the fundamentals and actually training versus, you know, my whatever is falling apart, so I need to worry about that versus actually training. So having good gear, being safe, and really knowing what and why you're doing on the fundamentals, okay? And again, it comes down to everybody has bad days, everybody has good days. There's times that I go to a range or I'm teaching a class and I'm just off for whatever reason. We're humans, it happens. So don't get discouraged because you have a range day where you're just shit, right? Everybody has them, it's gonna happen. Not everybody has those days where it's like perfect every single day. It's gonna happen where you have that day where you're just like, fuck, like I'm usually the best out of the group, but today I sucked, right? It happens. Use that to make you want to get better, right? Instead of being like, oh, ho-hum, I was bad today, be like, fuck, I don't like that feeling. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen again, so I'm gonna work harder at this, okay? Again, take classes, learn from people who have learned from other people, because, you know, I don't know everything and other people don't know everything, but we do know a lot. And if you take something from me, you take something from somebody else, you take something from some other instructor, you could take all those things that you learn, how they were explained, what they mean, how they were like interpreted by you, put them together and use them for yourself. That way you can use all those different things to your benefit, okay? So again, when you get out to the range, have a plan, know what your deficiencies are, and actually work on those deficiencies. Be safe and have fun and go get training, because in the end, if you're just making loud, expensive noise in the desert with your friends, it's just gonna cost you money. You're not actually becoming a better shooter. So go learn from people who actually wanna teach you and wanna make you a better shooter. That way you can go back to your friends and be better than them, and then they wanna come take classes and they wanna learn and they wanna grow, right? Because in the end, it's all about the community and getting better as a community, as a group. If you got a friend group that wants to come out and do classes, go as a group, you know, help each other out with ammo prices, with hotel prices, whatever the case may be. Make it happen for you guys. That way you guys can all go have this hobby that you like doing, because the more people that are doing this and the more people that are efficient at this and can speak competently on this subject, the better it's going to be for the whole gun community, right? We don't need any more of those fuzz that are just out there spouting nonsense because they don't really know anything. We need guys that know what they're talking about, that can prove it by their abilities and their skill set, and not just regurgitate things that they've heard 30, 40 years ago, that they've heard, you know, from somebody current, and they can actually show why they're saying what they're saying, okay? So again, guys, get good training, ask questions, ask why, and learn as much as you can.